We've been talking lately on this channel about identity, value, and worth. Let's continue talking about how less is more and how we can actually grow through subtraction. My name is Dr. Park. I'm a psychologist for youth, and here at Through the Waters, we nurture youth mental health. When we look at creation, we see that growth is a dynamic process, meaning that it's always in motion and it's always interacting with many different factors. For example, there are seasons in the life of a tree where it's growing by adding volume to its trunk and adding tree rings and adding height and adding leaves. There are also seasons where a tree matures by subtracting things, by losing leaves, or having a branch be pruned by a human, or allowing fruit to fall to the ground. There are certainly seasons for us as humans where our personal growth happens through addition, by adding things like learning new skills or having new experiences or meeting new people. I also want to challenge you that there are seasons for us as humans where our personal growth happens through subtraction, by unlearning what we've been taught before, or by doing less, or by recognizing what's not necessary, or by simplifying our sense of identity, or even by losing someone or something. Of course, there may be seasons where the addition and subtraction are happening at the same time. Part of what has inspired this series of videos about identity, value, and worth is that when I get very quiet and I contemplate the riptides of our society, the pulse of those riptides is telling us that we need to be better, more, fitter, happier, faster, more productive, more efficient, caught up on life, and so on. I feel exhausted just saying those words out loud. For the most part, these are illusions that we chase in an attempt to clothe ourselves so that we don't have to face stillness or silence or shame. We don't always need to be more, and in fact, we can actually grow through subtraction, through decrease, by being less, by taking away what's been added on. Although I place a high value on health and wholeness, I'm becoming convinced that part of healing toward health and wholeness means embracing being human and nothing more than being human. If someone asked you to complete the sentence, "I'm a blank," what would be in the blank for you? Whatever we are tempted to place in the blank, other than the word human or the word person, is a temptation to distort our identity. Using myself as an example, you may notice that I start most videos with the sentence, "My name is Dr. Park, I'm a psychologist for youth," and so on. That's my shorthand for explaining to people my education and training, but I'm very consciously aware that I shouldn't put the eggs of my identity in the basket of psychologists. That is not who I am. I'm consciously on guard against that in my own growth. That's not my identity, that's just what I do professionally, right? Any role we occupy, any activity we do, any experience or title or diagnosis is temporary clothing and not something that will keep us warm forever. We are not what we do. We are not our best moments, but we also are not our worst moments or our brokenness. I'm a fan of sports, and I love cheering on athletes throughout their career, like Michael Phelps and Simone Biles, for example. They are people, though, and there's a danger for them to over-identify as a swimmer or a gymnast or an Olympian. The painful irony is that the better they are at doing that thing, the more medals they earn, the more weight and pressure that gets added, the more extra meaning gets added on top of being a human, and all of that becomes dehumanizing. What happens when they no longer do that thing? If they've over-identified with it, then an identity crisis happens. There is a maturity level that's possible where you can still swim or do gymnastics or do whatever you do without it being your identity. That involves a conscious process of subtracting out the over-identification, centering our identity again around being a person, being a human, and nothing more. In closing, let me say, I'm just a human making YouTube videos for your benefit. So please like and subscribe so other humans can benefit from these videos too.